What are you, darling? Where's your costume?
This is my costume. I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone.
She's scaring me.
My name is Addams, and I have seen evil. I have seen horror.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a fun Halloween tutorial. Yay! As you can see by the title of this video, I am going to be recreating Wednesday from the Addams family with a little twist, a little bit of glam, a little bit more shadow, a little bit more oomph. I found myself inspired by a picture I found on Pinterest of a girl who did this look. She had smoked out shadow and black lip and the braid, and I thought, that is so freaking cute. A glammed up Wednesday from the Addams family for Halloween. That's adorable. So I decided to create that for you all today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, we're going to braid our hair so we can look like Wednesday with our braids. I was thinking about getting black hair spray paint for this tutorial, but then I was like, it's kind of messy. But you can do that if you want to add to the look if you don't have black hair as she did. I'm gonna go ahead and part it down the middle like she does. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go, there we go, here we go. First, I'm going to take my Maybelline Age Rewind and prime my eyelids for some shadows and a bit underneath here as well. I'm just going to blend that out with my sponge. This is the one from Mikasa Beauty. It's their lemon drop sponge. I've only used it a few times, but I like it so far. I'm going to go ahead and set everything with just a white powder to make sure it allows for optimum blending with our eyeshadows. I'm going to take my Mikasa Beauty E300 brush and dip into the contour shade of the Dulce de Leche palette from Wet n Wild. And I am just going to start buffing that into the crease and blowing it out. The good thing about this look is you can blow it out, make it super smoky, really hollow out your eyes. That's what we're trying to do a little bit because, you know, the Addams family is spooky. So we're gonna look kind of spooky, a little bit spooky. I'm gonna keep building that up for a minute, and then I'm gonna switch over to a darker shadow to better intensify it. I'm gonna go ahead and drag some of that under the lower lash line as well. I'm kind of gonna concentrate it right under the bags of my eyes. Sounds terrible, but we want to accentuate, kind of if you squint and see where that little crease is, I want to accentuate that crease right there. I don't believe the Addams family are ghosts themselves. I can't really remember, but I think they're just like creepy, kind of scary people who don't mind stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we're just kind of gonna make her look a little bit creepy, but also glam. I'm also going to drag that shadow right into the inner corner and start hollowing out kind of this area right here. I don't want so much of it down here like I just put it, so I'm going to buff that away, but mostly right in here. I want to hollow that out. So basically you want to bring your shadows from like here all the way up around here and really blow them out and make them smoky. Some of this action down here, if you take it too far, will go away once we do our face makeup, so don't worry too much about that. But try and concentrate just right here, drag it a little bit under to meet these shadows down here. Yeah. I'm going to take my Morphe MB23 with no product on it. From today anyway, it's probably pretty dirty, honestly. And I'm just gonna buff everything out before I go in with any more shadows. Come through, dead eyes. Feel free to take the shadows pretty low over here also. Go for it. Yeah, girl. Well, one of my shadows just fell out, but that's okay. I'm going to be taking my Morphe, I'm going to hold it in, my Morphe 35W palette, 35 warm palette. I love this palette. I use it for freelance work. It's just got a lot of warm tones in there. So I'm going to go into this dark brown shade right here near the bottom left corner, and I'm just going to start darkening up the crease with that same brush as before. Any excess I drag upward and blow out. We're going to take that shadow right where we put the other shadows already. Right in this hollow here. Ooh, yes. And under here. Unfortunately, my camera did not record any of my brows, but I just went in with some powder, some darker powder, darker color than I normally would. This shade and a little bit of the black as well from this Morphe 35W palette. Pause. You can also see here that I went ahead and added that black shadow from the Morphe palette to the inner and outer corners of my eyes, up into the crease really precisely, and I contoured out and hollowed out the nose on the sides there as well with that shadow. You can also see that I put a cream shade right in the very center of my lid to make it pop. It is Creme Brulee from Wet n Wild. I will list the brushes I used down below for you all. This technique is also really similar to the one I used in my last video, the Fall Halo Eye, so I will link that down below for you all so you can see that. Next, I'm going to go in with my Morphe M124 brush and some concealer, and I'm just going to clean up underneath, and I'm going to use this to highlight the brow bone as well, so I'm going to drag it down a little bit into those shadows. I'm going to go back in with some more of my eyebrow powders and just clean up this line here. There we go, there she is. I'm going to take a spoolie to the fronts to kind of lighten those up. And then I'm going to take some hairspray on my old spoolie to set my brows, which is a nice trick I like to do. Just lightly run it through the hairs, careful not to really touch the skin so you don't mess up the powder underneath. And I really like to brush them up and really stand these hairs here straight up like that. Yeah. I like this step too because it kind of brings back the natural hairs instead of making it just look like we've put powder on there. So I like doing that. I'm going to take that same Creme Brulee shadow from Wet n Wild and the same flat shader brush as before, just less of it, and I'm going to put that right on the brow bone where we put that concealer. But I don't want to lose too much of my smokiness, so I'm going to go back in and blend that out so there's not too much highlight going on. I'm going to add a little bit more brown to right on the outside of this one, right here. And the last step for the eyes is going to be going right back in with that black shadow, and I'm going to take a small smudging brush from Morphe. This is an MB16, no, not MB16, B16. That's it. And I'm going to smudge that right under, not the lash line, but that bag I told you about right here. I know it looks harsh right now, but we'll blend it out. I really think this adds a lot because I feel like, at least the girl I remember watching a little bit, vaguely, she had very like round eyes that kind of bulged a little bit. That's what kind of made her look a little creepy as well. So I think this will give us that aspect. Then I'm going to pick up some dark brown and smudge along that to blend it out a little. Now I'm going to take my original blending brush from Mikasa Beauty, pick up more of our transition shade, and go right underneath that to make sure it's blended. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to take some more of this cream shadow, cream colored shadow, not cream shadow, it's a powder, but cream colored shadow. I'm going to wipe off this smudging brush we just used, and I'm going to take a bit of it and pop it right above that line to kind of accentuate the skin above it, the actual bag skin, you know what I mean? Now I think we're ready to move on to the face, which is also super simple. Alright, so on Halloween we want our makeup to last, so I'm going to use my Nivea Men's Aftershave Balm, the sensitive one. This works as a great primer because it has glycerin in it, it dries kind of tacky, and will allow your foundation to better stick to your skin. So for foundation today, I'm going to take that same Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer because it is so light for me, because I want to look really pale. But I am going to mix in a little bit, just a little bit, of my Milani 2-in-1 foundation in shade 03, but it is very dark. Too dark for this one. So I'm going to mix in just a tad of that. Just a tad of it. And then I'm going to grab some on my sponge from the Milani one and kind of work it in to the concealer we have down. I'm only bringing the concealer about as far up as the shadows go down, and then I'm going to blend around there to make it a little bit cleaner later as well. And I'm taking some of it down the neck to make sure that's not left out. You want to get back into your hairline just so none of your real skin is showing. And I'm going to take a bit more down the neck also. And under the eyes. Alright, now I'm going to go in and set that. I'm going to use my Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is the translucent extra coverage one. I'm going to take a big face brush, dip in there, and just kind of press that into the skin. And this will help keep the foundation bright and light as well, because it is kind of brightening just a little bit. We're just going to be doing a little bit of contouring today with that same Wet n Wild palette as before. I'm going to take my Sigma F05 contouring brush, and I'm going to take it on the edge here and chisel out the cheekbones a little bit, just a little. And I'm really not going to do any bronzing, just contouring with a cooler shade like this, because I don't want to give her skin any warmth. I want it to look very pale. Any extra you can take up here a little bit, just a little though. I want it to stay very light. I'm just going to take a tiny bit on the sides of the nose. And that should blend up into these black hollows we have up there. And I'm going to take a bit on the chin and on the jawline. I'm going to blend all that out with the same face brush we set our face with, so that it's not so much. I want it to be very subtle. Just a little bit of definition. I think I'm going to skip the blush today, but I'm going to go in with highlighter still because your girl needs her highlighter. I cannot go without, literally. I cannot. I think I'm going to use Snow from the new Anastasia Glow Kit, Ultimate Glow Kit, this one. These powders have a lot of kickoff, kind of, but I mean, they're still really pretty, so I don't mind. Yeah, so I'm going to use Snow from the Glow Kit and put it right on the tops of my cheekbones. And blend it down a little. Take it a bit up here. And I'm using a Sigma F42. It's their new strobing fan. And I'm going to highlight the nose a little bit. I say a little, but really I mean like my normal amount. Maybe a tiny bit less than my normal amount. I'm going to take a tad on the chin as well. And forehead. Pretty much everywhere. I'm going to take my Morphe MB23 again and kind of try and buff this inner corner out a little bit so it's not quite so harsh. I don't want it to be too much because I want to stay pretty true to how she looked, but you know, obviously she didn't have this much going on, but it's all good. I'm going to take a lighter shadow. This is the one that fell out of my Morphe palette, and I'm going to go right over it to blend it out and diffuse it a little bit more, tone it down. There we go, it's a little bit better. To top off the eyes, we're not going to do any winged liner or any of that. I'm just going to curl them. I am going to add falsies Feel free not to though. I'm just doing a more kind of glammed up version. For mascara, I used the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. I love that stuff. It's awesome. You could totally leave it without lashes like this. I think that looks super cute and like more natural, you know, but this is the glam version. So I'm gonna put on some lashes. 2 lashes stacked together. I'll link them down below. Okay. Remember, you can always maneuver your lashes, press them up so they go more up, can set them more straight out, you know, based on your eye shape and your preference, obviously, you can do whatever. All right, to finish off the eyes, I'm gonna do a coat of mascara on the bottom. And as I am getting mascara on my lower lash line, I want to say to you all to be careful not to get mascara on that part that we shaded white or cream colored. I really wanted to create a black lip like the Pinterest picture that I was inspired by, but I don't have any black lipstick, so I'm just gonna use a gel liner. I'm going to make sure the lips are nice and cleaned up by using some concealer. Just cleaning them up. To set our lips and seal them in for the entire night, I'm going to go back in my Morphe palette and pick up that black and just dab it right on top, because it will smudge otherwise. And it may still smudge, honestly. And this helps it look a little bit more opaque as well. To finish off our face, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my NYX Matte Setting Spray. I finished this look off with a little paper collar because I think that's kind of a signature look of Wednesdays, is the black sweater or dress or whatever it was and the white collared shirt underneath. It'd probably be easier for you all to just go get a really cheap shirt from the thrift store that has a white collar. I just didn't. I just thought, hey, I'll just make some out of paper for the sake of the video. Nonetheless, I hope you guys like how this look turned out. I absolutely love it. I love how dark and grungy it is. It's not at all what I normally do, obviously. It's super fun to do stuff that you don't normally do and to kind of create a character but with a spin on it. Luckily I had that inspiration pic to go off of, but it's just so fun, you know, spinning old ideas into something new and making them really fun and making them your own. So I love doing stuff like that. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And subscribe, of course, if you'd like to see more videos like this. I hope to put up another Halloween tutorial for you all very soon. So look out for that, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.